Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is many a truder, welcome to Trolley Problem Inc. A game about moral philosophy. What this game is going to try and do is present me with dilemmas. The problem is, sometimes there's more than one way of evaluating what's right versus what's wrong. And it's going to start off pretty simple, and then the game's going to slowly tear me apart and show that I am a hypocrite and a monster, because ultimately that's where moral philosophy goes. The deeper down the rabbit hole you go, the more of a monster you become.
There's a runaway trolley barrelling down the railway tracks. On the tracks are 5 people unable to move. You're next to a lever. If you pull this lever, the trolley will switch to a different set of tracks. However, you notice there is a person on the other track. What do you do?
Okay, so, one of the most famous bits of moral philosophy of all time, the trolley problem. Now, the reason this is tricky, to some people at least, is because there are 2 ways of evaluating what the right thing to do is. Utilitarianism says the result, that's the important thing. Okay, if I've saved 5 lives and had to sacrifice 1 to do it, then I've done the right thing in terms of ethics. However, deontology says no, the outcome doesn't really matter. There are certain things that are simply inherent wrongs. Killing a person is wrong. You must never, ever do it. We don't know how those 5 people got on the tracks. It was an accident, perhaps, and accidents are neither moral or immoral. So as a result of that, it doesn't matter. Just leave them be.
So
you can't pull the lever because you'll have killed someone, and that would be ethically wrong. Now, I generally come down on the side of utilitarianism, though this game's going to push that to extremes and prove I'm a monster and a hypocrite, as I say. But for the time being, we're going to pull the lever, because it means, yes, less people die. I'm extremely sorry, lone person, but it turns out you're getting squished today. But yes, I'm guessing, depending on the choices I make, yes, I'm going to get different follow-up questions, potentially.
Usually we don't expect candidates to kill someone on their first day, but we'll give you the benefit of the doubt on this one. Just think a little more before acting next time.
Okay. So, yes indeed, it's hardly, unanimous. About 2/3 of people went the way that I went, and oh bloody hell. The game is going to keep track of the combined number of people I've killed across every dilemma. Great. Yes, as I say, this is good to go wrong. And I know just how wrong, because I studied a bit of philosophy back in the day, good decade plus back now, but, yes. Basically, there's no right answer in the long run. You never know anything, reality's a lie, and you can never ever do the right thing.
This test will focus on the first principle, responsibility. Here's Polly. She's 5 years old. While she loves to play in the sand with her dolls, she dreams of looking after the world. Polly's destiny is to grow up to be a great doctor. More of us should take a leaf out of her book.
Oh, okay, so, I mean, when you say destiny, do we actually know she's going to become a great doctor, or not? Because, oh bloody hell. Right, welcome to, yes, dilemmas.
A trolley is heading towards another 5 people. You're next to a lever. If you pull this lever, the trolley will derail and descend down a hill heading for the park's sandpit. You notice that Polly is in the sandpit, sculpting her dream hospital. What do you do?
Okay, one starting assumption is Polly will indeed become a doctor. However, her absence in the future does not mean there simply won't be a doctor and people will die because there's no doctor to treat them. There will be other doctors who could do the same thing. There is no reason to believe the absence of one doctor in the future will actually lead to concrete deaths. We don't know that, and we don't know for certain she's going to become the doctor. Alright, now we're dealing with theoretical future lives against lives right now. Should we assign value to one life rather than another? And I'm going to say, okay, I personally probably think, though as I say I'm going to be proved wrong next time, probably, that yes, you shouldn't trade actual current living lives for theoretical future lives, so we're going to pull the down lever. Sorry, Polly, that trolley's coming straight at your sand pets. Oh, and there's the reading list. So if you want to follow up and read more about this problem, right, that's going to be the reading list, down bottom. So, okay, the death count remains as low as it can be, down at only 2. Alright, some monsters out there have already killed, oh good, killed a child achievement. Magnificent.
That is an odd take on being responsible. The dictionary definition, to be the primary cause of something and so able to be blamed or credited for it. Are you to blame for the death of a young girl?
Yes, I am, and according to some schools of philosophy, the better thing to do would have been just not do anything. Don't do things that are bad. But no. You see, now it's getting complicated. Now we're up to 53.6. It's pretty much just bloody, neck and neck at the moment. Good. This is gonna get harder. Alright, these were the easy ones, and we've already split the world 50-50.
Now we are upping the ante. You are on a bridge with Tyrone, watching a trolley speeding towards 5 people again. You can only stop it by deliberately pushing Tyrone off the bridge, blocking its path. Do you push Tyrone off the bridge? Or let the train hit 5 people?
Okay, so now we can no longer say, well, it's an indirect thing, we're pulling a lever and standing back. Now we have to directly take action. This is the point where, yes, deontologists who weren't already freaking out are definitely freaking out, because you are actively pushing someone into the path of a tram. Though, admittedly, if I do it now, it's going to be really awkward, because the tram's still, like, you know, a minute away. So Tyrone is going to turn around and look at me and say, why? Why would you do this to me? What have I ever done to you? He'd probably try and get off the track, and I'd have to, like, push him down again. I might have to do something, like, break his legs to make sure he couldn't actually move, and that's probably even more ethically complicated. So, okay, we're just going to wait till the last minute, then we're going to push Tyrone. That way, he can't tell me about his, you know, family, children, other hobbies of any description. In general, he can't beg for his life, which will make me feel better, even though I believe this is still the ethical thing to do, damn it. So just speed up time, and at the last moment, Tyrone's going over the bridge, and alright, 3, 2, off you go, Tyrone, sorry!
The cleaning company with the best reviews are Happy Cleaning Limited. Who knew one body could make so much mess? You're going to have to tip them well.
Look, 5 bodies would have made a lot more mess, and okay, you see, some people start getting squeamish when they have to start taking direct action, like actually pushing people in front of the train. Now I'm in the minority.
There is a dying dog down on the tracks. No trolleys will use that line today, so the dog will not be hit. You're in a rush. Do you kill the dog, putting it out of its misery, or leave it to die, cold and alone?
Oh, bloody hell, that's not fair, that's not fair. Okay. Like, somebody else might come and help the dog. I mean, I should help the dog. Like, what I really want to do is, you know, not go and do the job and instead help the dog. I'd like to think that's what I would actually do, but that's not an option. Actively kill the dog or leave the dog to die. I don't think I could do it. And I don't necessarily think it's the ethical thing to do, because you can't be certain the dog is going to die one way or the other. But then again, this isn't about whether the dog dies or not. It's about the fact the dog is suffering. But I can't evaluate the level of suffering of the dog accurately. Okay, but like, assuming within the constraints of the thought experiment, the dog is suffering, and you see, this is where it gets complicated. Probably the ethical thing to do is to help the dog out of its suffering, but I don't believe I can do that in like a painless way. Like a vet can do an injection so a dog just goes to sleep. I don't think I can actually do that in a way that is painless for the dog. Like, you see, this is the point where I start getting squeamish and all philosophy goes out the window, because there's a dog involved, and that makes my brain short circuit.
When you respect something, you're meant to care about its feelings and wishes. Instead, you just left it there to die.
Okay, but we didn't know what the dog's feelings or wishes were. And okay, the dead dog is not on me. You can't put that on my total. That's not fair.
5 trespassers have snuck down onto the trolley line even though signs warn them of the dangers. The trolley is currently heading for a co-worker. Do you let your co-worker die or sacrifice the delinquents?
Okay, so same deal, but we're now assigning, yes, like virtue levels to the people involved. We're saying 1 person who is innocent or 5 people who shouldn't have been there in the first place. And this is where, yes, things start getting potentially complicated for some people. Now, obviously trespassing isn't an offence that's punishable with death. So it's not fair to say, okay, they're trespassing, therefore they need to die. I am aware of them. Alright, there's no argument that says I don't know they're there. Now, if this problem were to re-emerge with a slight twist to it, is you have been told some people are trespassing, meaning there may or may not be 5 people on the tracks. You simply don't know.
If the trespassers weren't there, you would change the path.
Okay. No, we've got to let the worker die, unfortunately, because, yes, as I say, like, while they did something wrong, they didn't do something wrong enough to justify being murdered.
You killed a co-worker. All right then, I guess your results for the first week are in. I'll run these up the flagpole and see what the suits upstairs think.
Okay, so I think I killed, like, yes, as few people as it was possible to kill, which in this first week was not too difficult to do. It's gonna get worse.
Dear Sir or Madam, we have been following your exemplar practice this week at Trolley Problem, Inc. and would like to thank you for your hard work, especially when some challenging decisions had to be made. We would like to invite you to take employment at the Trolley Health Corporation, THC. This is a prestigious position and was created to help keep the public safe through all walks of life.
Oh good, medical dilemmas.
Today, you'll be in A&E. A young male has come in from a car accident and urgently needs a heart transplant. There's only one in the hospital, and this heart is scheduled to be given to an elderly man waiting upstairs. He will surely die without it. Who should get the heart?
Okay, my starting position would be the heart should go to whoever's got the most years of life to live that they can get out of the heart. That's a good, sensible, measurable way to solve the problem. Okay, so the young man, he's going to be able to live the rest of his life. The elderly man has lived a long life already. Give him the heart. What's he going to get out of it? Maybe a handful of years. I mean, surely this has got to go to the young man on this occasion. I feel like, yes, the majority of people are surely going to back me on that one.
Sounds like his car may have caused the accident.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, now you're just recontextualising the problem. Okay. The elderly man may be blameless. Right, well, that's fun. Recontextualising as we go, and...
News just in, the young male has alcohol in his blood. Was he driving?
Oh, well, that's not... That's not... Well, that is a crime that actually carries a risk of having killed someone else. I'm changing over. Okay, the recontextualization has messed with me. Okay, that's not fair, game. Okay, this game is... This game's mean. This game's mean. I don't know whether that's actually accurate or true or not.
You made an excellent choice. Well done. The young guy has so much to look forward to. Oh, wait. Did you save the old man? Oh.
Okay, I wasn't going to. That was your fault for implying that he was drink driving. And yes, that is a thing that carries a risk of having killed other people and just bloody hell. Bloody moral dilemmas.
A patient has begged to be euthanized. Euthanasia is currently illegal. You will have to be the one who gives the lethal dose. You will need to look into their eyes and end their life. What do you do?
Okay. Like, personally, I think euthanasia should be legal, and though, of course, many doctors can't admit to it in situations where it wouldn't be legal, giving someone who is very much on their way out anyway a somewhat high dose of morphine just to ease them along, I suspect is something that happens an awful lot. So, yes indeed, we're just going to give him, just 50 milligrams too much of the happy drugs and ease him off. He has begged for this to happen. Alright, it is his wishes. If he has consented to this, then I should do it.
Oh, wow. You actually did it. I thought you would have learnt not to kill people by now.
Okay, I'm actually in the minority on that one. Interesting. So, murdered. Murder is such a harsh term.
You have 5 patients. Each needs a different organ, but no organs are available. A healthy young traveller comes in for a routine checkup. Their organs are compatible with all 5 dying patients. Do you kill the tourist and use their organs to save the 5 in desperate need? That's 1 life for 5.
Okay, so welcome to a variant of the trolley problem. Except on this occasion, yes, it's different because, well, okay. I'm killing this guy, same as I killed Tyrone, but I am not necessarily saving 5 people. Or is that just semantics? I mean, they might recover. There might be, other patients or other organs as become available. We don't know whether the organs might be rejected, for example. So, yeah, this is where my viewpoints get pulled apart, because now just slight variants that are effectively identical to scenarios I didn't find complicated are more complicated, because absolutely I want to leave the tourists be. That is an actual death versus, 5 people who may or may not, we don't know, recover. There may be alternative solutions to those 5.
You let 5 people die today. You probably should have looked into their backgrounds. Looks like one was researching into improving vaccines. Hopefully that won't be an issue down the road. You have been promoted yet again. You now run the hospital. You've been asked to roll out a new vaccine in Central City. This vaccine will stop a large number of children from becoming severely ill, but you'll need to deal with their parents. We need your words of wisdom.
Oh, bloody hell.
Do you start a mandatory vaccination program among children to stop this endemic? Slight problem. Clinical trial data suggests the vaccine will make 1 in 5 children severely ill, much worse than the virus itself.
Okay, that's a relatively high proportion. 1 in 5 severely ill, much worse than the virus, but we don't know, well, okay. It says endemic, which means pretty bloody widespread, but 1 in 5 is so high, I feel like at that point, mandatory would be excessive. The better option would be education and getting people to choose to consent.
Don't tell me you're in charge of a hospital and an anti-vaxxer.
Oh, bloody hell. It's not that Okay, it's not don't vaccinate versus vaccinate. It's mandatory program versus not mandatory program. Like, that's... The 1 in 5 is really high. But then again, is the endemic lethal? Because it doesn't actually say... Yes, shut up. Okay, with that level of severe illness and no evidence to suggest that the endemic is actually, lethal to a large number of children, we are going to educate, not legislate. but bloody hell, the game's gonna make me feel bad about this one. Okay, not one child is dead. They're just ill. Alright, I've not killed anybody.
Will you try to develop breakthrough medicines for the endemic? While testing, placebos will be given to thousands of ill patients. Without proper treatment, some will die today in the hope you could make a breakthrough tomorrow. Do you start the research or continue treating patients as usual?
Oh, bloody hell. Okay, that's right. The game started flashing dying children at me. Good, 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 good. Right, okay. So, right. If we treat them, it's going to potentially slow things down, but people are going to die in the meantime. And, okay, I don't have a good answer for this one. Alright, there's no easy solution to this one. Like, I mean, in the long run, we've got to... Okay, I'm edging towards the whole some people get placebos, because... Oh, hang on. This is the same endemic we were discussing before. Now, no one's died of it yet, though they did just say some people will die today.
You're doing the right thing.
I mean, how many are we talking about? Like, not that many. Like, in the long run, like, I feel like I'll probably save more lives than are about to die. Like, hopefully.
Developing new medicines is a smart move. Let's just let others treat the patients. Hopefully they will.
Okay, it's fine. It's all fine. Actually, yes, 75% of people went for that one. That's like the, yeah, possibly the most agreed upon one I've seen in this entire game so far. And, okay, I have just killed 1,000 people. So my death count has definitely gone up a bit there. But in the long run, it's fine. Okay, it's going to be no problem.
Dear insert_name. Congratulations. This letter is to certify that I have examined your work and believe you to be a perfect fit to fill the open position here in our Artificial Intelligence Division. In this role, you will help to develop the next generation of driverless cars. The future is upon us.
Oh, brilliant. I'm looking forward to this.
A self-driving car is travelling along a single-lane mountain road and is fast approaching a narrow tunnel. The car has 2 passengers. A child runs across the road but trips, blocking the tunnel entrance. Should the AI car hit and kill the child or swerve off the cliff, killing both passengers?
Okay, so it's 1 versus 2, but it's also a child who has more life ahead of them than the 2 people inside the car. Well, presumably. That I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. So, as a result of that, I mean, in terms of number of lives saved, that may or may not be the same as, yes, number of years saved. Which, okay, this is getting complicated at this point. And also, is there any moral reason why the child who is not in the car should receive additional protection above and beyond the people in the car? Like, the passengers shouldn't be, like, punished for buying a self-driving car, right? That doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, I feel like we shouldn't kill the child, but... Okay, I don't feel good about it.
You put this car on the road. Do you not feel responsible for their death?
Okay, I feel like the child dies, but as I say, I don't feel good about it. Like, at all, actually, no. Okay, so I feel better knowing that, yes, like, if I'm a monster, so are 3/4 of other people.
A man is on trial. Police believe he committed murder. Allegedly, the AI's mic recorded a private conversation where the man confesses. Users don't know it's always recording. The defendant has denied access to their files. Do you bypass security and invade their privacy?
When you say users don't know, do you mean we deceive them, or just we hid it in the small print and they clicked accept and never read it? Because that makes a difference, and... Okay, like, because, you know, it's a murder trial, I would like to say invade privacy, but I also don't, because the moment you set the precedent for the fact that, yes, like, private files are being handed over because the police or the government or whatever asked for them, well then that's going to keep happening over and over, and smart technology is everywhere, and that's terrifying, and... On this occasion, okay, we don't know he committed murder.
You're happy to just let a potential murderer walk the streets?
What did I just say? We don't know that. We can't set the precedent, okay? You've got to respect the privacy, because otherwise no one's got any privacy, but then again, privacy against the oh, bloody hell! This game was a mistake!
Bravo!
I'm just not pushing any buttons. Alright, I've decided I'm going to be the man on the bridge who simply does not push Tyrone. Alright, if I don't touch the mouse at all, it's not my fault anymore. Alright, put the mouse on trial, not me.
I have a feeling the investors upstairs will be happy with this. The more the world values privacy, the more they can justify hiding their taxes.
Okay, you're not helping.
One of your cars has no passengers, but is carrying an irreplaceable prototype with the potential to end global warming. Fast approaching a narrow tunnel, once again a child runs across the road but trips. Should your AI kill the child or swerve off the cliff, losing the prototype?
Okay, I've always, up to this point, said yes, the number of lives, that matters, and also, yes, actual concrete real lives should not be sacrificed for theoretical future lives, but we're dealing with a really big scale here. This is now one life versus potentially like millions, hundreds of millions, billions in the long run. Okay, like, I feel like we should save the world from, like, you know, climate disaster. I don't feel good about this, because this is what I mean about moral philosophy, which is, you can say, oh yes, I believe this, and then 10 minutes later, you're proven to be an appalling hypocrite. And like, you know, you're a liar, and the things you said you believe, you don't believe them anymore. But, like, one person versus that many theoretical people, at that scale... Okay, once again, I've not clicked anything. It's the mouse that did it, you monster. Okay, like, another child dead. It's only 4. That's 4 children. Like, it's fine. Admittedly, yes, the people killed at 1009. That is a bit higher. Though actually, none of the ill children died. So that's good at least.
The investors have come up with an idea, but we need to run it by you. Should we develop a subscription plan so that our customers, who pay monthly, are valued more by the car during its accident prevention calculations?
No, obviously not. That's the most monstrous thing I've ever heard. That's like, you know, full-on cyberpunk nightmare dystopia territory. Obviously not. No. And if I crash the company I'm working for, good, it deserves to be crashed, because it just brought that up as an idea. 30% of people thought that was a good idea. 30? What the hell is going on?
The subscription prototype leaked. You need to fire a department to save face. Do you fire the 5 graduates, who can probably get new jobs, or fire Francis, a lovely old soul who won't be able to find a job? There's no way of knowing who is actually responsible.
Okay, so we're dealing with 1 versus 5, but now this isn't like a somebody dies situation. Now we're just dealing with, yes, people having to move on to other jobs, and, okay, how old is Francis, like, actually? Like, is he pretty close to just taking his pension? Like, was he a couple of years away from retirement? Anyway, because... I mean, based on the numbers principle, we should maintain the largest number of jobs, right? So we should fire Francis, because then more people get to keep their jobs.
Putting them out to pasture. Harsh.
Okay, well, it's not about that. It's about numbers. Okay? And then, oh, bloody hell. But then, yes, he's going to struggle to find another job. The graduates would find other jobs more easily, but it's not fair just to kick them out just because they were the most recent in. Like, especially if it wasn't their fault.
How are they going to function in the short term?
This one I found really tricky. I'm sorry, Francis. You're going. I'm really sorry about this.
I wouldn't look at the obituaries today. Turned out this job was everything to Francis. And I mean everything.
Okay, that's not fair. That's new information you didn't give me till right now.
An experimental car has stalked and murdered 5 colleagues. Do you throw the coders of the project under the bus and have them arrested for negligence, or do you save them by blaming it on the possessed devil car, as it was clearly an accident?
Well, if this was a code issue, where, yes, the car just went bananas, well, you say an accident. Like, a car didn't just, by accident, murder a whole bunch of people. Like, clearly, somebody made a bloody mistake. Like, a really, really, really serious one. So, we're not just going to blame the magic mystery of AI. The people who programmed it did a really, really cocking bad job. And if they have to go to prison for that, well, actually, has this been tested? In court, I assume it has been. But, like, I don't know. I feel like the coders aren't to blame.
The 5 coders who made the mistake are now being dealt with. They will each get a 10-year prison sentence. Maybe you did push them too hard.
Okay, but like, that's not my job, or maybe it is. I'm not 100% clear what my job in the theoretical AI car company actually is.
New idea. Users get shown ads while they travel for free in driverless taxis. We get paid by the marketing agencies for gradually changing the behaviours of our passengers through constant commercials. The users would be our product, not the driverless cars.
Okay, so that's an interesting idea. So Uber, but it's free, and you save money by not having to pay drivers at all, and instead the shortfall is made up by advertising. I feel like it would be extremely popular. A free taxi service, so okay, what's the horrifying twist you're going to toss at me?
This is going to disrupt everything for profit.
Okay, yes, there is a profit motive, but like, this would also be revolutionary for a lot of people. Like, if everybody could just get where they want to go for free, then that would... Okay, this could also create a lot of traffic. Like, there might be problems. There might be a lot of problems here, actually, like, in the long run.
Friends.
I mean, it's worth giving it a go, sure.
Due to your technology, our world is changing. People are losing their jobs to machines, which in turn makes items and services more accessible and affordable for countless consumers. But with worldwide unemployment at an all-time high, what do you plan to do about it?
Oh, we're getting into bigger, much, much bigger issues, actually. Because, yes, if there aren't enough consumers with money, then who's going to buy all the products?
If you develop your AI further, many will lose their jobs. Taxi drivers, delivery men and women, and couriers will become extinct within a few years, but you will make a lot of money. Do you continue development?
Okay, also, the AI's buggy. The AI's bugging out a little bit. Slightly bugging out, it's fine. If I don't develop it...
I take it you haven't read Ovid's Metamorphoses.
Okay, actually I have, in the original Latin too. Not all of it though, some of it's a bit boring. Okay. I mean, someone else is just going to develop it, right? Like, if I don't, someone else is going to. Also, what the flip is happening? Okay, everything's broken.
Spoiler, Icarus died.
I mean, if... We may as well develop... Someone else is going to do it if we don't. Also, the AI is completely cocky broken.
Continuing to evolve this AI will not only make it stronger and more intelligent, but it will also be able to adapt. This could be the start of the singularity.
Okay, I may be about to kill literally everybody.
5 cars have been hacked. It is now a major concern that more vehicles could be remotely commandeered. This is tough. Do you recall all cars which could be compromised, or roll out a quick but potentially ineffective software update and hope for the best?
I mean, you've got to recall, okay, thank God we've got one that's manageable here. Like, if your cars are being remotely hijacked and remote controlled, like, if that happens on an ongoing basis, on an escalating basis, that is just a PR nightmare. People are going to be kidnapped and murdered and dead and all sorts. Like, the most sensible thing to do, ethically and in terms of the company, is get the cars back in the showrooms right now, or like the factories, or I don't know where cars go when they get recalled, but like, there, send them there.
Just like my father. He would try to keep everyone happy, but ultimately just get in the way. Having said that, I think even he would see this as a lost cause and move on.
You're not wrong, I'm amazed I'm still at this company. Okay, 500,000 cars have been brought back. Thankfully, everyone agrees that was the sensible thing to do.
Using the fix from our hacked cars, we've made our own hack which you can now use to control our competitors' cars. I bet it was them who attacked us in the first place. So, will you hack our competitors?
Absolutely not, because we don't know that they did it. And also, yes, it's just incredibly unethical to sabotage their product then again. Okay, the ethical thing to do would be let them know. Better for the car industry in general that we all create unhackable cars, because nobody wants there to be hackable cars, because it's going to get the entire bloody industry shut down.
After going through this hacking code, I don't think a human could have written it. I'll dig into this a little more. You carry on.
Okay, I'm a little bit concerned, because I'm pretty sure an AI has achieved sentience and is now hacking the cars.
Dear Redacted, we've been watching you closely. Your ruthlessness and determination to do what is necessary. The development of your technologies is a giant step towards Redacted, meaning you are a prime candidate for Redacted. This involves a large amount of Redacted. If you believe you can handle Redacted, as we trust you can, then please prepare for your induction at Redacted.
Okay, so apparently my punishment is being recruited into the Illuminati. Love it! So, that there is the first 2 acts of a Trolley Problem. There's 4 in total, so that's probably a bit under half the game, given the later acts are longer than the first act, which was kind of an introduction, if you will. So, if you want to be asked to do horrible, horrible things, and then have it thrown in your face, repeatedly, by more and more variants of the same problem, proving that you are a liar, and a hypocrite, and a monster, this here is Trolley Problem Inc., and I'm going to go and have a cup of tea and feel bad now, because I've done some really, really terrible things, and we'll have to see in the long run whether I can ever flipping forgive myself. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Trolley Problem Inc. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Were we doing virtual reality, or was that just like a metaphor for lesbian sex? And then he smacked me lightly across the face with the money! What? This is... Well, where is this going? What's happening? We're going to buy a whole new bin, and we're going to write Brendan on it, and we're going to put him in it and toss it off the pier.